Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate everybody tuning in over the last couple weeks. It's been a fun ride. Fishing's been really good. We're back at it today. We've got a special guest, Matt Nellis with Ice Junkies Outdoors is here. He also does some work for PC Fun and Neptune Ice Rods. So we're going to go out today and chase some bluegills around. Not too difficult of approach today. We're going to be drilling out a mud flat to start here early this morning. We're going to be checking that, and then as the day progresses and the sun gets higher in the sky, we're going to pull out to about a mid-depth saddle of about 15 feet. And the goal is to just drill our grid as soon as we get out there so we can let it all settle and then kind of hole hop throughout the day and try to pick some of these bigger fish off. So we'll see what happens. Supposed to be almost, I think, 48 degrees today and 50 tomorrow. So it's going to feel like late ice. The fishing's been really good lately. A lot of crappies, a lot of bluegills. Today I expect to see more bluegills than crappies just because of the area that we're going to be fishing. But hopefully we stick some big ones, and yeah, let's see what happens, shall we? Let's get after it. Start the morning. I tell you, there's been no shortage of fish this morning, but I'm not gonna lie, they're finicky. I've got Matt behind me. He's up fishing the saddle. I'm out on a basin hump. Basically, there's 22 to 24 feet all around me, and I'm up on a 16 to 18 foot hump that it's about maybe a 25 yard little hump here where some gravel meets mud, and there's some crappies stacked up adjacent to it. So I think there's gills down there with them. We've got probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 gills over 8 inches, but nothing giant yet. So we're just trying to get some nicer fish on film today for you guys. But yeah, nothing wrong with that one to start the day. All right, Matt's hooked up over here. Got him on an inside turn. We kind of made a horseshoe with our holes over the around this underwater point. It's a nice fish. Look at the colors on that one.
Yeah, it's pretty. Good northern Wisconsin bluegill again.
What's been the program for you today?
38-inch Neptune quick tip rod, PC Fun Viper X5, and the 2-pound Finn's braid has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Super sensitive. It's a real sensitive bite today. And then basically just Widowmaker, scud missile, and waxies.
Getting him with the vertical presentation?
Yep.
Yeah, same here.
Yep, real slow cadence.
Yep. That fins though, I mean, they came out with that 4-pound the last couple of years, and that was pretty good. I was always, hoping they would come out with a thinner diameter, and this stuff they came out with this year, I think, is the ticket.
The diameter makes it, especially in finesse presentations, and the sensitivity.
Yeah.
It's a light bite. They're not hitting hot and heavy. They're just coming up and grabbing enough you can feel them.
Right.
But fish that size, it's pretty easy to tell when you got them.
The other day we were on a shallower lake, and the bite was so good that the jig was going down the hole. You couldn't even pick it up on the Vexlar because those crappies were coming from almost underneath the ice and smacking the bait before you could even see it falling on the Vex. So you actually had to line watch, and that high fizz fins made a huge difference in setting hooks. Otherwise I wouldn't have known what the hell was going on.
The rod tip makes a big difference in that too. That's why these quick tips, noodle tip rods. No strike indicators. That changes your cadence, it changes your bait presentation, so you go straight off the rod with the line. And then use these noodle tip rods and you really pick up the bite.
It's funny, once you dial in a cadence with a certain rod that you get confident in, you are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yep. All right, we're gonna keep swinging. Hooked up. Boy, there's just a ton of fish here on this saddle. Good mixed bag of crappies and gills. Not a bad fish right there. And the program has been, we're just, I got here super early, drilled a ton of holes, and we're just working the grid from one section to the other. Matt's kind of on the edge of the saddle right now, kind of where the basin starts to taper off. And he's getting some fish out there. We've also got him up on the shallow parts of the flat too, real early this morning. So nice mixed bag. Working on our ice stands today. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. I think 45, 46 degrees, and tomorrow is supposed to be 50. And the great thing is those temperatures might scare you, but we have a lot of ice up here in the North Woods. 2 feet is pretty common. I haven't really seen any less than that. You do have to be careful on some of the lakes with current and flow. This lake that we're fishing today is actually part of a chain, but there's plenty of ice. I wouldn't tell people to come out and get after it if there wasn't. I would never put anybody in danger. Obviously, no ice is completely safe, but traffic is beautiful out here. You can walk, of course. I've seen tractors out here. I've seen golf carts, UTVs, ATVs, of course, snowmobiles, and plenty of trucks out. So the trucks, it is what it is. They make a lot of noise, and you can see that on your electronics. There's nothing like being at a good school of fish and then a truck drives by and they're gone for a while. But that is what it is. Yeah, we're just going to keep swinging. It's a beautiful day, man. Switched over to the schoolie rod. They've got a little finicky here midday. I'm getting a lot of these. That are right at the 8-inch mark. Just trying to piece together a day here until magic hour, because I have a feeling it's going to be another one of those days where it's that bite window, from, I don't know, 4 o'clock to maybe 6 o'clock ish. That's where we've been getting the majority of our bigger fish in those time slots. But until then, it's a lot of chasing these around. So it is what it is. If a guy wanted a fish fry, it would be a beautiful afternoon to do that and put some of these in his bucket. Fun to catch anyhow. Any red mark's a good red mark, in my book at least. Matt's hooked up again. Another solid gill.
Good fishing.
Oh yeah. So what do you got going on over here?
Well,
I've seen you've been bit 3 or 4 times in the last 5 minutes or so.
Well, we're in a saddle in between a couple of humps. So we're about 13 and a half feet of water here. And the deeper water are holding the bigger gills. So a light cadence when you're marking fish. So I don't have a mark on it right now, but when marking fish, what I'm doing is I'm fishing down to the bottom, bouncing off the bottom, and then bringing the jig up and letting the fish follow it. You don't want to jig below the fish, because they don't feed down, they feed up. So down to the bottom. I'll just kind of stir some of the silt and some of the mud up on the bottom of the plate, and then just bring it up 6 inches to a foot off the bottom. As I mark fish, I'll either jig above them, and if they don't follow up, I'll drop back down to the bottom, do the same thing. Real light cadence, especially with these noodle tip rods. You don't need to bounce hard. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, I've been doing just like a nervous coffee shake.
Right, swing and miss. But that's what bouncing on the bottom does for you. Now when I'm marking fish up in a water column, I'll stay above them a little bit. And if they don't bite, then back down and start over. These longer rods for hole hopping like this are nice too, because you don't have to be on the ice so much. You can actually stand up and fish closer to the hole. It's really noticeable when it's windy out, so you don't get the wind drift in the line.
Yeah.
You keep the rod tip close. There, I just got tapped again, wasn't paying attention. There, just won't commit.
Yeah, there's been no shortage of fish. We have probably caught a couple dozen, but I think we've only got maybe a handful of 8s and 9s, but that'll improve as we get deeper into the day. It always does. Those bigger gills are predatory fish. They will come up to hunt. And we're gonna put ourselves right in their path. And it looks like Mac got him a decent one here.
I think so. Yeah, not a monster, but very solid fish again. Switched up a little bit, went to a 28-inch rod and a different jig head.
Let's see that puppy.
That's been the average fish.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that all day.
Nope.
I know guys that would be happy with that. Bucket of those.
Not the 10 we're looking for yet, but they're down there.
Not yet, but it is go time. It is 10 after 4, so you guys have seen this bearded dude out here before with me.
What's up, folks?
Of course, he ditches us all day because he's got that work thing, and he only comes out at magic hour, but I don't blame him. I tell you what's going on here is we have a beautiful sunny day. It is very warm. It's pushing, upper 40s today. No wind whatsoever, super calm. Barometric pressure is right where we need it to be. You think bright sunny skies, high pressure, it is not the case. It's actually pretty steady at 30.14, and it's not moving much. If anything, it's going down a little bit. So what I anticipate to happen is these fish, I've just got done drilling another grid on a saddle. This saddle is pinched between two basins. The basin to our north is 23 to 24 feet. The basin to our southeast is about 22, and then we've got a big football field length of 15, 16, and then there's spots on that 15 and 16. And what I mean by that is it comes up to 11, 12 on these little grass patches, grass humps. There's also little divots. You can still find another 18, 19 foot little divot on the saddle. Not very big, but just big enough to make a difference for the fish to want to kind of congregate and investigate that area when they cruise through here. Because what's happening, this saddle is basically a panfish highway. They'll come up here, they'll cruise it up and down, feed. They don't stick around in one place too long. That's why it's super important on spots like this to just go ahead and drill your grid and get it out of the way. And then we simply call it working the landmine field, because that's what it looks like out here. But that's how we neutralize not having a life scope, is we go ahead and we know where the fish are. This is a panfish highway. It's a high percentage area. We know there's going to be fish up here on here throughout the day. So we've drilled our grid, and now we're just going to work the landmine field. Another thing too, a lot of guys will drop their deucer down, and if they don't see anything right away, go on to the next hole. And I know that's what we've all been taught and preached throughout over the years, right? Is to don't even waste your time if there's no fish in the hole. But on these saddles, it's a little different, and that's where a lot of guys make mistakes. I see it time and time again. I come up and look at these holes that these guys spent less than 30 seconds in and catch fish out of them, and it's simply because these fish are around cruising this highway, right? Sometimes you have to just drop down, sit in one spot, pound the bottom, draw them into you. Just because there's no fish on the screen at the moment doesn't mean they're around. Dropping down, banging the basement, working those silt puffs, moving water, as I like to call it. That's how we get some of our biggest panfish in the middle of the afternoon. So we're gonna do that right now, and then we're gonna wait till sundown, and then we're gonna scoot up into these shallow muddy bays and wait for another window bite to happen. So we're getting a bunch of fish right now. A lot of 7s, a lot of 8s, a couple 9s have hit the ice. No big 10s yet. We've got a couple nice crappies, 12 and 13-inch crappies, but we're looking for those big 10-inch plus bluegills today. So let's keep swinging. Bill's hooked up. Another good one. It is magic hour. Sun is at the trees, and these big toads are moving in.
Look at that toad.
Look at that right there.
That is a stud.
That is a hell of a fish, man. It just never gets old either, does it?
No,
the constant
no.
circle digging.
I'm a kid right now, kid in the candy store.
Heck yeah, man, nice fish. Yeah, that is what we're talking about right there. That is what Magic Hour is all about in the North Woods. Beautiful 10-inch bluegill. I think that's the third one that's hit the ice in the last half hour. Solid, solid fish. Beautiful colors. Big ear tab. Scud missile again for the win. You got there, Matt? A little bonus fish?
Little bonus fish.
That'd make a nice Sammy for somebody.
About 50 more of those, we'd have a fish fry.
Yeah, you're not shitting about that.
Head down, Scoop. There you go.
Yeah, this just doesn't get old. This is straight up gillage. Gillage at Magic Hour. Tanks. Yeah, set it all day. Beautiful weather, beautiful friends, and beautiful, beautiful bluegills. Wild Bill. What you got, Bubba?
I got a good one. Man, these things can make a mess of your deucer in a heartbeat.
And we were just talking about that in our last episode. Every time I say I'm going to pull the deucer on a big fish and I never do, what happens?
Yeah, I ended up having to ham line this guy in, but
That might be the first. That's close.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a tenor. Pretty damn close.
Solid fish. Beautiful fish too.
Yeah. Where'd you get that one on?
Got it on the other time out here. We talked about it on a video. My old school lead.
Oh, the little bit slower fall.
Yeah, a little bit slower fall lead. Green and orange. A couple crushed waxies.
I see. We'll hold that fish up one more time. That's a pretty one.
It was a feisty little guy.
Heck yeah, man. Nice job. That makes it work. We'll take it. Beautiful looking bluegill, isn't it, folks? Tell you I'm about 10 minutes away from taking these bibs off and bopping around in my skivvies because it is warm. Beautiful, beautiful bluegill right there. Yeah, buddy. I believe Bill's got one over here with a pretty paint job on it.
Yeah, it's not a huge, it's a good eater, but
Wow, that's a nice fish.
yeah, look at the orange belly, and the real reason why they call them bluegills is that blue right there. It's just so iridescent and beautiful.
Gosh. Yeah, I love the paint jobs on these things, man.
It's addicting.